Hello and welcome to Seesar Gear. Today we are looking at the Generator 11 oscillator device from Dead Air. And this device was something that I stumbled across online, saw somebody mention it in a blog type of post, and so I explored, tracked it down, and saw like a really short demo on YouTube, and I decided to take the plunge and put my name in the pot to have one made. And I waited around for it, got it, I guess like a couple of months ago, so I've had some time to play with it. And surprisingly may not be the right word, but I didn't know exactly what to expect. I was braced for disappointment, or I was braced for maybe it not being something that would fit into my arsenal, because I very particularly play more dark ambient, spooky, eerie, horror soundtracky kind of stuff, and I didn't know if this was going to work for me. But I can say that it's been fantastic. It's so much fun to play. I did have a few things to get used to, and I'll talk about that. But in general, I'm going to start with, I really recommend it. It's $189 US at the moment. You do have to sign up to get one made. It is super well built. Everything's quality stuff, and it is expressive as you want it to be, and it has a level of unpredictability. And I know I've mentioned that in other reviews before, but that's something that attracts me personally, is that I like a level of control, and I like a level of adventure with my gear. And this is definitely something that gives you both, the best of both of those worlds. So let's go over the controls, and then I'm going to walk through like some of the bits for playing it, and the things that I've discovered that I like the most, and then I'll just shut up and make some noise because it's really great. By the way, this I want to start with this. It has an input for an external voice. So if you are playing, another synth, or you're playing a guitar, or you're playing anything, you've put a contact pickup on a parrot, you can run it through the device and merge it with the sounds being made here. More importantly, no, that's not right. Another option that you have is it's got an effects send and return. So you can loop anything out of it. I have tried a couple of different reverbs that I think work great. There's also an echo unit that I'll probably review actually very soon. That's the Synth Echo 2, Cosmic Echo 2, and I've run that through here, and it's also been a lovely thing. Couple of different things. There's a Pigtronics synth pedal that works pretty well with this as well. So I want to bring that up because I'm not going to be looking at those things today. I'm going to be looking exclusively at the sounds that it makes by itself, the standalone sounds. And I will do future reviews or performance type examples, demos with this and some of the other gear that I have. There's lots of things that I have that can act as a processor or an additive to something else, and so I'm going to try and do some different mixes and matches. One thing I have in mind with this is the Fort processor from Isnitses, and I also have in mind the synthesizer from Death by Audio and A Place to Bury Strangers, because both of those have also got external inputs, and you can pass them out. So this would be a good thing to loop into it, or vice versa, loop them into this. So I'm going to try all of that stuff, but today let's look at just the raw sound, no effects, no input, nothing like that. The controls, let's talk about the controls. You have 4 oscillators. Each oscillator has a volume and a frequency. Very, straightforward, nothing earth-shattering there. The earth-shattering stuff comes later, but they all affect each other because you can have constructive or deconstructive interference working with each of these that with 4 voices becomes pretty complex pretty quickly, and it is just tasty right off the bat. So let's just hear a voice. This is my general volume knob here. So let's see, I'm going to get a little gain going so we can hear it. Just a general, pulse wave. You have a tone knob, so you can filter that. Obviously, clockwise is a high pass filter. In the middle is kind of like maybe a band pass, but more of just no filter. And then you have anti-clockwise or counterclockwise, you have the low pass filter. And I'm just going to leave it there for a second. So you have a pretty high range of square waves going on here. Maybe these are actually sawtooth waves. So pretty broad range, and I'm going to guess that this is probably a logarithmic pot because it definitely jumps up pretty quickly. Now let's add in another one for the funsies. So the first two, now I'm not sure about this because I don't have any documentation and I haven't actually talked to the maker about it. But it sounds like the first two are either square waves or sawtooth waves, something that's got a sharp, transition. But let's move over to the third and fourth one. That to me sound a bit smoother. So maybe this is either sawtooth or maybe this is a sine wave. It doesn't sound like a sine wave. It sounds like a sawtooth wave. No, excuse me, a triangle wave. How fun is that? Constructive interference, folks. All right, let's add some other crap in there. So it's already pretty tasty. And maybe this is not something that you can't do with other synths, but it's really nice. Pretty good extremities to the tone. All right, I'll come back to that in a second. You have a gain knob here, and the gain knob, of course, is just that. It's a gain. It overdrives things and really pushes the limits. It does give a pretty sizable volume boost, but more so it just really throws the grit in the mix. The dirt comes out, which is pretty great. I will also say that this is particularly well controlled with just a compressor pedal on the other end, so you can make sure that it doesn't sweep too far between low volumes and high volumes. Let's get this back in here. Okay, so you got nice little pulsey throb, and then if I start adding the gain, it almost like smooths out one and makes the other dirtier. Makes these rougher sounding first two oscillators way dirty. So I'm all kinds of distorting it, and it's really pushing my amp on the other side of the room. So let's keep some of this. We're gonna go back to something that's a little more audible, like smooth. And now we're gonna bring out the fun stuff. This is the Power Star. This is what I think of as the magic button of the secret sauce. Because the Power Star takes everything that you're used to and literally just throws it out the window. So if you're not familiar with a Power Star, it acts like a dying battery. It literally does just what it says on the tin. It starts to deprive the circuit of the power that it is attuned to use. So if you have a 5-volt power circuit and you're using a Power Star, that means you're only giving it, what, 4 or 3 volts of power. And so it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't have the energy to do it. And that's the beauty of this. The more you starve it, the crazier the sounds get. How fun is that? Yeah, the Power Starve knob introduces so many chaotic elements that you're able to bring that in and out at a different rate and have unpredictability raised or lowered, because without it on, you know what's going to happen, or at least, after you've practiced with it a little bit, you'll get used to the knobs, you'll get used to the, how far you have to turn something, the subtleties versus the extremities. But with the power knob on, that stuff kind of becomes moot, because whatever combination of knob turnings that you have, whatever settings you have, will dictate how the Power Star interacts with the rest of the synth. So you can almost think of it as the misbehaving button. How badly does everything misbehave? And that can go for me. Maybe I've got a power starve button. Maybe that's what's going on. It's really fantastic. I definitely think that this was, a typical choice. Perhaps it's something that's not unheard of, but it's well done. It's well integrated. The circuitry is solid, and it definitely brings in a very, very tasty element that gives expressibility. Is that even a freaking word? What the hell's wrong with me? Expressiveness to the performance that you might not get otherwise, and it's just such a good design. It really is slick for what it has. I argue that it's simple in a way, but I also argue that simplicity is misrepresentative of the power and entertainment value that this holds. So just for a quick, brief entertainment, because I want to do it, I'm going to play for just a second and maybe show you a couple of different things. In a future video, I will introduce another voice. On another future video, I'll introduce a loop of a couple of pedals, and then in another future video, I'll put it all together. So we'll kind of chip away at this one over the next few months. But yeah, let's have a wee jam session and see what kind of things I can get into. Okay, pretty fun. Okay, I'll quit. I'm literally goofing around on camera because I'm having so much fun. That was a little bit of a time bandit. Who knows how long that was? Looks like it was about like 8 minutes or 10 minutes. Sorry, that was me going off into never noisy noise land. Let's say thank you to Dead Air for this fabulous piece of gear. I highly recommend it, as I've already said. If you're going to get one, let me know. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know all the good stuff, and let me know if you got any tips for me, because I am definitely new to this. And if you are a noise artist, I'm probably behind the curve on that. I typically am not a straight up noise artist, so you can tell me how to play this thing. But I think it's great. I'm going to shut up there and move on. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been useful for you to some degree, where you can make some decisions on whether or not you want to get one. And there you have it. Take care. You can always check out SeesarMusic.com/gear for some other stuff, or just go there and look at my composition. You can get some of my compositions on my composition page, or check out my music on the releases page. Or you can come visit me on Instagram at Seesar_music for my music stuff, or Seesar_gear for more stuff like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Whew.